following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.
This isn't just a game, this is iRacing. Four weeks from now, we will crown ourselves a champion in the Sim500 NCA11.org Xfinity Series. That quest, though, starts tonight. Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It is race number one of the championship. Eight drivers racing for the championship. And that quest begins with a gamble, shall we? As we hit Sin City. It's race number 25 overall. And race number one, as I mentioned, of the playoffs presented by NC811. I am the captain. Happy Sunday to you. Hopefully you've enjoyed your week as we get ready to put on a fun show at a track that some call one of their favorite mile-and-a-half tracks in all of iRacing. A track that can run during the daytime, at nighttime, or whatever you want. These guys are going to put the show on during the daytime, and you're going to see some green flag racing, likely some green flag pit stops. You never know. The yellow flag might make an appearance or two. Either way, get ready for a fun show here on a Sunday evening here on the Captain Esports Network. The big number we are looking at is the 8 drivers that'll race for the championship here. Starting tonight, it's a 4-race stretch to crown the champion for Sim500's NC811.org Xfinity season. And it starts with Justin Fuller, of course. With the 5 wins this season, he is the number 1 seed. You will notice there is no advantage anymore. All the bonus points you have gained throughout the season is gone. Everybody starts at 3,000, and it's the best results in the 4 races. That'll be the champion between these 8 guys. Mac McMillan, Mike Kelly, Kevin DeBrown, Stephen Miles, Braxton DeWeese, Anthony Calantoni, Scott Simley. Those 8 drivers racing for a championship, and we'll see who will win that crown coming up here in just a month. It should be a pretty wild race here to the championship. We cannot wait to see what happens here. This evening got a pretty good crowd of drivers ready to go. Got a track that is kind of driving a little unpredictable right now. Been hearing a lot of different handling settings out of the drivers. And of course that fuel mileage word is going to come into play tonight because there's a pretty interesting stat that I'm about to share with you as we go into qualifying and into the race. And that is the fact that outside of the anomaly of drivers in the race in January, that's all 4 cautions, we have not seen a caution at this race. And when I say this race, this track, when it comes to the Xfinity Series since 2021. That's right. We had 4 cautions in January, and then you got to go back 3 years before that before you saw the cautions up here in this track. So chances are we're going to have ourselves some green flag racing here, and I think we're going to see a pretty good show when it's over with. Now, how much does this series love this track? This is the second most ran track in all of the Xfinity Series for Sim500, and the only other track is one called Daytona. So that should share something with you. They love Vegas, and Vegas puts on a good show every single time here at the track here, no matter what series you run. So interesting. I see that others have had interesting weekends too. As I look over here at the chat board, Chris DeWeese, Doug Mindorf cheering on Braxton in the number 13 car. I look over, he's still number 5. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. So let's talk to at least got a chance for one driver here before we get into it. So let's talk to you know what? I want to talk to the guy that jumped into the playoffs, into the Final Four here last week, and that's Anthony Calantoni as he gets ready to go. Of course, Anthony, you were one of the drivers that pounced and took advantage and got into the Championship 8 here tonight. Now, how do you turn that move last week to get into the Final 8 now into a championship at the end of the season? That would be by starting by showing up to the interview. We'll come back, see what happens. I play roulette. They don't know I'm going to talk to them. I just literally pull them up and go from there. So we'll move him back down because he is probably away, just getting ready for qualifying. And we'll try again here in just a little bit. Qualifying's about to start here in about 30 seconds or so. Of course, qualifying tonight is presented, as always, by NC811. Know what's below, call before you dig, and check out, of course, your local 811 if you have any issues, and thoughts and prayers those down in the armpits, as they call it, of Florida, going up into Georgia. It looks like Miss Debbie is going to make an appearance down there, and of course, that's going to cause a lot of damage and that kind of thing. So it's very important to know your 811 numbers and be aware of what's going on around you, because you do not want to make a mistake digging something up, or if a power line ends up down or something like that. Always want to be alert. All right, qualifying going to get underway right now as the cars will head out onto the track. I'm just watching your backrest. It's all good. All right, who's going to be the first? Who's going to be the rabbit? Goes out on track here. Of course, you're going to want to qualify pretty quickly here because the track's going to rubber up. I'm seeing about 7 cars already, and let's go to Jose Gonzalez. I feel like the guy in the Red Zone channel. It's like, all right, which game's going to kick off first? Track qualifying record here at Vegas was done back in 2018. Tommy Ryan. Actually, I take that back. 2019. It was actually done by Brian Macklin. 30.286. Will it get hit tonight? Gonna take a pretty good lap and a lot of grip to make that happen as Gonzalez brings it through 1 and 2 over the bumps. Down this Nellis straightaway, right off of Nellis Air Force Base. Over 3 and 4. Jose probably going to throw this lap away. Puts that left front right on the seam. And to the start-finish line, he will have the first lap on the board. 31.43, so that should show you that the track record is safe. Levi Poland, 31.34. Good lap on his part. Schweikert, 31.30. As Gonzalez going to bring it out of turn 4. Let's see what he can do here on lap number 2 as Mike Kelly slots in, 31.32. He is P2. As Fuller jumps to the top, 31.12 for him. That's a playoff driver up there at the top. You'll notice the green numbers. There's Braxton DeWeese, 31.17. How about JP Phillips, 31.13. Here's Scott Simley in the 12 car. Make sure you do share with your friends, by the way, tonight. If you're watching on the stream, get the link out to some friends, some family members, whoever you like to share it with, and get them in here to watch. As qualifying underway is Kevin DeBrown now off the back straightaway here. .12 from Fuller right now, the pole sitter. 3 of the top 4 drivers in that championship 8. JP Phillips kind of breaking them up a little bit. You see Simley slops into 9th. As here's Kevin DeBrown across the line. Kevin 11th with a 31.26. Let's see, Anthony Calantoni. Here's that Talking Giants, number 84. He's going to be excited. The NFL preseason kicked off Thursday night. His New York Giants are in action this Thursday against the Detroit Lions. As Calantoni crosses the line in 13:31.28. And let's see, 3 drivers left on track, and one of them is this guy right here, who's been unfortunately fighting a very tough loss on his family side. Thoughts and prayers still with Tyler, of course, with the loss of his dad, after it's been brought up a little bit. I can kind of bring it up here on the air and stuff, but just nothing but the best. Obviously, he's still grieving, and as they say, when you lose a family member, you have all the time in the world to grieve. And we'll hope that Tyler's able to get through the race here tonight, as Tyler 20th fastest right now. He's in the green down the back straightaway. Kind of sliding through 3 and 4 there a little bit. That might hurt him. So he comes to the start-finish line. And 31:16 P3 for Tyler Dalton. And let's see who else is on track. Stephen Miles just getting onto the track now. We got 40 seconds left. Miles, a playoff driver in his rookie season here. Going to be very good. He's only going to get 1 lap in, unfortunately, it looks like, because we're passing the 30-second mark right now. As Miles slots in 20th. That, unfortunately, is going to be it. It looks like it will be a pole for Justin Fuller. And of course, thanks to our friends at 811. Know what's below and call before you dig for sponsoring qualifying throughout the season, as we go trackside for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, here we go. Anthem is done, ready to set the lineup for the race here in Las Vegas. It'll be the 14th race in the Xfinity Series history here at this track, which has seen 10 different winners during its time period here. As Fuller puts himself on the pole, 31-12. He will lead J.P. Phillips to the green flag there on the front row. Tyler Dalton and Braxton DeWeese there in row 2. Row 3, Mac McMillan, who won this race in January. See if he can sweep the series here at Vegas. And Tommy Ryan on the outside. Wesley Donaldson, Jose Gonzalez there in row 4. Row 5, John Schweikert, Scott Simley, E.J. O'Rourke, Chad Coleman, 2 Hall of Famers here in Sim500. Going to start there in the 6th row. Row number 7, Kevin Brown, Jason Karlovage, Anthony Calantoni will start there in 15th alongside Levi Poling. Good run there for the 72 car. Mike Kelly, Seth Foudy in row number 9, row 10, William Kemp and Jeff Ryan. Stephen Miles, Nelson Rivera, row 11, row 12, Charles Van Schaik and Alan Wild. And last of the starters, Ron Holyfield, Bob Gillenwater, Brian Wortman, 27 cars, and Mac McMillan did not make the start of the race. Not sure what is going to happen here, but he did not make the grid. So Mac, unfortunately, is going to start this race from the pits if he's able to get logged in. Not sure if he got kicked out or what the deal is, but a tough way to start potentially this final round. And potentially a lap down, if not more, depending on if he can get back in this room before the end of this race. We shall see. Race information tonight, 120 laps, 180 miles. Of course, the usual iRacing default weather. Race 1 of the Championship 8 starting here tonight at virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway here on iRacing, as the pace car going to hang a left. With the guy you could argue is one of the guys to beat, Justin Fuller there in the inside row, starting from the pole. That 20 car, JP Phillips, looking to shake things up a little bit as we come to the green flag as the Championship 8 begins. And Viva Las Vegas, we go green. Our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. Check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. And it's checking over at McMillan. He is still not gridded yet. See Bob Gillenwater having some connection issues as they go through 3 and 4. You'll see these cars all the way from the bottom up against the wall later on in this race as these tires wear out. You got to get what you can get on the bottom, and it's going to become very tough to pass as Fuller leads lap 1. All the playoff drivers you will see in green up there in their numbers. Example, being Justin Fuller there, the green number 55. Braxton DeWeese, the green number 5, and so on and so forth. As Fuller leads lap 2. Phillips are right there putting the pressure on him. And seeing some side-by-side battles here back towards the 8th position. As Schweikert on the bottom side, Tyler Dalton there on the outside. You get the 5 of DeWeese, the 93 Kevin around, battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th positions here. Phillips putting the pressure on at the inside as Gillenwater comes to pit road. As unfortunately his blinking issues looks like compounding a little bit, and let's see if he can try to get it fixed. Just unfortunate connection issues there as Phillips looks to go to the lead. Leaning on Fuller. But not able to complete the pass, as mentioned, as we get later in this run. I think it's going to get tougher and tougher. You're going to have to go up the track a little bit or hope that the driver in front of you makes a mistake if you're going to make the pass for the lead. There's your first battle back here at the 10th, 11th, and 12th positions here. Tony trying to get around the 12 assembly. You see Chad Coleman back in the NOS colors that he's used to running in that 38 car. Mike Kelly there with him, and you see already moving up the progressive banking here. 18 degrees of banking at the bottom, 19 degrees in the middle, 20 degrees up at the top. And you'll see it all get used here as these tires wear out more and more. As I brought up the stat a little bit ago, This race used to be in caution-free in Vegas. They do not have a lot of wrecks here. However, in January, there were the 4 cautions before Mac McMillan went to victory lane. And it will not be a sweep for the 88, as unfortunately he has missed the start of this race. Is up front, Tyler Dalton putting the pressure on. He tries to get around Fuller for the lead. John Schweikert has joined the battle up here in the 3rd position now as John climbs the banking. Racing all the way around right now. You wonder how much Fuller might be saving the tires a little bit there, trying to preserve. You know, there is the talk a little bit here tonight. Could this be a 1-stopper? Could this be a 2-stopper to the finish? We're going to be pushing that 60 lap number really closely. The question is, does the tires allow them to get to that number? Trying to put the pressure on the top side here. You just got to kind of hope that the driver in front makes a mistake at this point. As Dalton looking, trying to get his nose there to the left rear, not able to pull back to 55. Anthony Calantoni back here at the 16th position, putting the pressure on Poland. Kelly there in that battle too there. Mike up 3 positions to the 14th spot. Yeah, I feel bad, Mac. That sucks, man. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of that since like the last couple of months, basically. Needless to say, people trying to go from, because it's all one session, but when it switches over to qualifying or over to the race, it seems like all of a sudden you get like this freezing, and then it just causes all types of havoc. And unfortunately, it looks like a bit Mac. And Mac is going to be in a pretty big hole to start this Championship 8. Laps in. Feel pretty much stuck all together here. It looks like McMillan finally getting into the room here at lap 13. So he's just going to be out there just trying to log laps and see what he can get. Unfortunately, what has happened there is the front few cars here single file. Everybody kind of single filing out. Let's talk a little bit about these 4 races on the schedule here for the Championship 8 Series. It all is going to get started here tonight in Vegas. Next week, it is the Charlotte Motor Speedway for another 180-mile race. And then we go to Iowa Speedway, the just shy of 1-mile track for 150 laps there. And then the 25th of August, it is Homestead Miami Speedway to finish out the championship. So if you're good on 1.5-mile tracks, you might be able to work this into a championship. But I have a feeling you are going to have to win at least one of these races to have a shot. This grid is very tight. You know, there hasn't really been that one dominant guy. You could easily say Fuller, the way he's ran. Of course, he missed a lot of races early in the season, got 5 wins. But obviously anything can happen. As here we go, up towards the 3rd position, as McMillan That's him on the now fresher tires because he just left the pits passing Dalton. And the battle on for fourth is J.P. Phillips. Under attack from Kevin Brown to Braxton Deweese, as I just mentioned his name right there behind him. In the 5, Wesley Donaldson, the 91. Calm down here for a second. Back here, I don't know if they're going to be able to calm down. Poland back here, falling back. William Kemp now into this battle. Stephen Miles already up 3 positions. Charles Van Schaik already up 3 positions. Don't really see anybody backing off, so wouldn't be surprised if it is a 2-stop race out of everybody tonight. Which means you would probably split this race in 3, pit somewhere between 40 and 50, maybe lap 45. Get back to the pits somewhere around between lap 80 and 85 to 90, and then take her home 120 to the finish. But tires will fall off. This track will rubber up. Now you're seeing already speeds down a full second from the green flag to now 20 laps in. As Dalton's under attack, here comes the one of John Schweikert. John, unfortunately disappointed probably here in these last few races, as it looked like he was set to go into the finals here, and all of a sudden it all fell apart on him. As that one looks inside, trying to make the pass. Clear him, he's there and gonna slide up and take the position away, so move Schweikert up to the 3rd position. I'm sorry, make that the 2nd position. And here comes a Hornet's Nest. EJ O'Rourke running the O'Rourke groove up top there. Tommy Ryan to 99. Jose Gonzalez, a bunch of cars gaggled up right here. Jason Karlovich back there at 60 car. Good to see him back on track. In a couple of weeks since we've seen that Speedway Collectibles car. Tommy kind of scraping the wall up a little bit there on the top side. Appreciate everybody coming back and hanging out. Been about a week or so since we've been on the air. Last Monday night's broadcast from Darlington, the last time we were on the air until tonight, and I actually went to New York and enjoyed some family time upstate New York area. Came back and getting ready now for the little one to go to school. So I'm very thankful to say that tomorrow we're off on the Cup side and going to orientation tomorrow night for a kindergartner. So it's going to be a little interesting and emotional, as I've got a list of questions that my wife and I've come up with already. As Braxton inside of Tyler Dalton here for 3rd. Tyler's tires maybe starting to fall off just a little bit. Holding that top side, you see Phillips falling into the hands of EJ O'Rourke, who's up 6 spots here at the beginning. And the 41 going to take a spot. Dalton's pit stop issues last week at Atlanta Motor Speedway took him out, unfortunately, the playoff running. And what was already a rough week for him personally, and for that to happen, you couldn't help but feel bad for the South Carolina driver, but he's persevering on, and good to see him back here on track here this evening. So 25 laps complete. Let's step away real quick before we get to potentially around the pit stops here in about 15 laps or so. And so you are watching Sim500 in the first round of the Championship 8 in the NC811.org Xfinity Series here on the Captain Esports Network.
This tree is going to look great here.
Did you call 811 to protect your underground utilities?
I can't wait to see these roses come up.
Dig, dig, dig! Wait, we forgot to call 811.
Before you dig, make sure you can. Call 811 to know what's below. It's up to all of us to protect the ones we love.
All right, 27 laps complete. Back we are here, probably about 20 laps or so from potential green flag pit stops here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway in the Championship 8, race number 1. We appreciate you hanging out with us here tonight. If you're just new to the channel, we appreciate you coming out and hit that subscribe button, please. If you're not new, then we appreciate you coming back and joining us as we start to get back into action now. A lot of our season's going to be kicking off here in the next 2 weeks or so. Got our let's see, what do we got? A new league going to be starting up Friday. We'll talk about that if you're on our Discord page. Got another league kicking back off on Thursday. So you're going to start seeing the captain a lot more again, just like you're used to. So you'll have some fun races to watch here in the near future. And that one on Friday, hint, might have some dirt involved. I'm just saying. Stephen Miles back here with Mike Kelly, 16th and 17th positions here. William Kemp there in front. Anthony Calantoni, Chad Coleman, a bunch of playoff drivers sitting right here. Not really seeing the big movers, really. The biggest gainer so far in this race is only up 7 positions, and that's O'Rourke. And that's in 30 laps, so not really seeing that guy that would jump from maybe 20th to 5th or something, like a Josh Parker or something in this race here tonight. That should be a sign of how tough it is to pass here as we watch the Kevin Brown battle here with Jason Karlovage for the 10th position. Give a big old shout out to my buddy Mark, who's hanging out there at NC Racing over in the downtown Fort Wayne area. I always want to let you know, if you are looking for something to do and you come through Fort Wayne or whatever, stop downtown, check out the simulators Mark has set up there for you. Cannot miss it. It's all lit up and everything right across from the courthouse downtown. If you ever need directions there or whatever, just hit me up and I'll tell you how to get there. You can hit Mark up, of course, at MC Racing in downtown Fort Wayne. Appreciate what he's done to try to bring in newcomers to help or to learn the art of sim racing and stuff. Even allows some guys to go in there and run official races and stuff on iRacing and more. Big shout out to again Mark for hanging out and watching us likely on the stream there tonight while some guy's racing. Some random person's looking up like, did he just shout you out? Like, yep, sure did. Hi, random racer. EJ O'Rourke, I mentioned on the move. He's up to 4th now. He's been ripping that high side as he likes to do. As he's passed Tommy Ryan for position. You see now cars, it's like in real racing, monkey see, monkey do. You see one guy go to the top. Well, I'm going up there with him. And here comes our first car to pit road, lap 35, way early. JP Phillips. Believe it or not, this is probably a scheduled pit stop. So Phillips going to bring the 20 car in. Tires are this important right now. You're seeing times already falling off 2 seconds here in 35 laps. I mean, need I say that the sentence blown tire might come into play tonight? Three wide here. 3 playoff drivers. Phillips 14.8. You see that time down there at the bottom as he leaves pit road. Miles usually pretty good on them long runs. And you see him putting those tires to work. That bottom side trying to get around Simley. Kemp there behind him in the 15th position. Calantoni in front of him there in 12th. As up front for second. Here comes Braxton DeWeese, the best finishing driver on 1.5 tracks on average this season, that 5 car, as he's going to take the second position away. The driver right there out of Ohio off I-75. I forget the town, forgive me. Taking the second position away from John Schweikert is Kevin Brown, the first of the playoff drivers to make a move to pit road. Let's follow his stop here. Right side tires on. No, he's not putting 4 tires on. I don't see that car lifting up. Up there go the left side up. I didn't see the right side lift unless it's me. As he pulls away 15.7, so he must have taken 4 tires. Usually you can see the car lift up off the ground. Well, let's keep an eye on these stops. Levi Poland on pit road. And, well, talk about confusion. 3 Exalta cars lined up here. If Kevin England was in here doing a broadcast with you right now, he'd be flipping. Look at JP. There's the fresh tires blowing by. As Schweikert's going to come to pit road. Here comes Chad Coleman. As Jose Gonzalez passing EJ O'Rourke. Now O'Rourke all of a sudden starting to fall back. Did he wear those tires out a little bit? Did he get the wall? We'll have to see as Tommy Ron's gone by. Wesley Donaldson. Gonzalez. Now Karlovage going by. As O'Rourke starts to fall back a little bit here. As Chad Coleman on pit road. Schweikert on pit road. Jeff Ryan. Alan Wild. So right here at the 1/3 mark, everybody coming to pit road. Tyler Dalton heading to pit road. Of course, he had that mistake last week that cost him the race for the championship. As he brings the 9 car to pit road. More tires and fuel in 14.7. Dalton pulls away, and how about this? Battle for the lead as Deweese looks to get to Fuller. The battle of the 5s. the track. Fuller almost into Deweese there as here comes Phillips. With the fresher tires and laps himself, Braxton had to get out of it. I'm sure Fuller did not mean to make a move like that. As usually Fuller will race you pretty clean. But the battle up here with Gonzalez now. Wesley Donaldson, Jason Karlovage. This is now the 4th, 5th, and 6th place battle. As Braxton Deweese has gone to the front. Lap 45, the 5 car, looking for that first win. Is tonight the night? Definitely showing that long run speed after starting in the 4th position. As 3 wide here, fresh tires. Kevin Brown at the bottom. Schweikert there with him. As Fuller pulls down, he's coming to pit road. The 55 in the pit road here for his first stop of the race. Four tires and fuel for the Unit Supra. As he pulls away, Braxton Deweese comes to pit road. 14.4. Good stop there. See if Deweese, how he does coming off of pit road here. Let's actually throw up the map and see where the 55 is, as he is now looking for him here in this pack. There he is right there, coming through the screen. In this little pack here, going into turn 1. Can he clear the 5? It looks like he will, so Fuller will keep the lead. That one extra lap is going to gain him a good 2 seconds. I think that's going to play a big role here in this race. If you're able to get off pit road, or get on pit road, I should say, that one lap earlier. I mean, that could be the difference in this race come later on. So lap 48, 49, we'll have to keep an eye on that. As 50 laps in the books out of 120.70 to go this time by. Still got Jose Gonzalez up here at the front. Jose definitely one of those guys who is not afraid to try to go to distance. So don't be surprised you see him not come to pit road to close to lap 60. Tommy Ryan, one of the same here. Stephen Miles also trying that potentially. Mike Kelly, believe it or not, 4th position. He's usually one of the first to pit road. He even kind of said to me earlier tonight when I was talking, he's like, you know what, I'll pit. Of course, I made the joke to him, lap 40. And here he is, probably playing Rebel against me or something. Look at Braxton make those moves up the middle. So that round of pit stops around lap 50. All done. So 9 cars yet to pit here. Jose Gonzalez, Tommy Ryan, Stephen Miles, Seth Foudy, who just took the 4th position away from Mike Kelly, Nelson Rivera, Charles Van Schaik, Scott Simley, Brian Wortman. The 9 cars who have not pitted here, and you are seeing the tires come flying through. That's close. Oh, how about some 4 wide here for a split second? EJ O'Rourke. I'm going to buy 2, get a third. Yeah, strategy is everywhere. This is actually starting to turn into the battle for the second position right here as Rivera's caught Tommy Ryan along with Stephen Miles and Seth Foudy as Jose Gonzalez 2.4 seconds up. I wonder if Tommy's backing off a little bit more to save some fuel as Nelson goes right around him. So as you see on the track where everybody is right now, you see the 55 at the start-finish line right now. He is actually not the first car on newer tires. That actually is John Schweikert all the way up here in the 1 car, according to my timing and scoring. So Schweikert likely to inherit the lead here once all the pit stops complete. As there's Simley now inside of Van Schaik. Like I said, this might not be a winning strategy, but this is definitely a top 5, top 10 strategy if it works out usually. And if you can get a yellow here in the next couple laps, you're really going to pay off with this move because you'll force those other cars back to pit road for a second time while you'll have one set of tires, or the first set of tires to put on your car. So this works out perfect. As Kelly inside of Miles now. And Mike up to the 4th position. And appreciate everybody hanging out here tonight on this Sunday evening, the final Sunday without a race for NASCAR until November. You get the 2-week Olympic break, and they're back at it next week at Richmond. Of course, they'll be trying out that option tire. And looking forward to see how that goes as Wortman comes to pit road, lap 58. I mean, in order to do 60 laps on a tank of fuel, you almost had to be saving all the way from the start of this race. As Miles comes to pit road right at the completion of lap 59. He's going to be close, so is Tommy Ryan as he's on pit road. As 4 tires and fuel for both the 24.99. Wortman 15 flat on his stop as Ryan locks it up. More tires and fuel, and they pull away, and that leaves Nelson Rivera. It looks like the only car left on track is Gonzalez, Seth Foudy, Mike Kelly, Scott Simley, all on pit road here at halfway. Everybody looks like good and clean. Have not seen a speeding penalty yet on pit road, which is great news. As Nelson Rivera, the final car on pit road for the green flag pit stops that took all of, 25 laps? First car at lap 35. Here we are, lap 62. So 27 laps to be exact here. And we'll run through the field here. Matter of fact, let's actually step away, get everybody organized, and we'll go through the field when we get back here as you're watching Sim500 on the Captain Esports Network.
When do you plan on putting in that new fence we've been talking about since last summer?
I guess I could start tomorrow.
Protect the ones you love and protect your buried utilities by contacting 811 before you dig, either by phone, the web, or the NC811 app. Know what's below before you dig. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
All right, back we are, 63 laps complete here from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and as I promised you, let's take you a little bit through the field here, show you where everybody's running here in the race as John Schweikert leads. He has a 1.1 second lead over Justin Fuller now. Of course, Schweikert pitted at lap 40, Fuller at lap 46. Tyler Dalton in the third position, pitted at lap 41. JP Phillips was that first car to come to pit road. He is now followed back to fourth and will likely lose a couple more spots before we get back to him here. But JP currently in the fourth position. Kevin Brown, the fifth position. Kevin pitted at 37 as he's losing a spot right now to Braxton Deweese as he goes by there for the fifth position. So there's fifth and sixth. Right behind them, the NOS Energy number 38 of Chad Coleman. Running in the seventh position. There's Wesley Donaldson, eighth position there in the 91 car. Jason Karlovage, ninth position, as he is about 5.8 seconds back from the leader. EJ O'Rourke, who pitted at lap 42. 15.1 second stop for the 41 car, and he sits roughly 6 seconds off of the lead. William Kemp there behind him, 11th position, and 6.7 seconds back as of right now. Anthony Calantoni, 7.2 seconds back in the 84 car, running into 12th position as Mac McMillan makes a pit stop. Levi Poland, the 13th position there in that 72 car. Levi is 12.7 seconds back. There's Jeff Ryan, 14th position for the 3 car. Jeff is 13 seconds flat behind the leader as of right now, Alan Wild. Alan is 15 seconds back, and Alan, the last of the cars on the lead lap here that pitted earlier than lap 50. All those cars I mentioned to you pitted before lap 50, by the way, in the top 15. Those that pitted after lap 50 sit right here. Jose Gonzalez in the 16th position, pitted right there at the halfway point. Jose 20 seconds back from the lead. Stephen Miles, 17th position for Miles. Seth Foudy, 18th position for him. Nelson Rivera in the 19th position. Mike Kelly back here in 20th. Mike with kind of a slower stop there. Tommy Ryan, 21st position for the driver of the 99 car, that Northern Tool car, 21st for him. And he is about to be passed by Scott Simley. And from what I'm seeing, they are right on the edge of the lead lap. As a matter of fact, right back there is where you see John Schweikert. So those are your last 2 cars on the lead lap. And then Ron Holyfield right there, about to be lapped by this 1 car. Charles Van Schaik, the first car, lap down. Brian Wortman, the other car, a lap down. And then Mac McMillan, unfortunately, 13 laps down. And nobody's fallen out of the race outside of Bob Gillenwater. So right now it's just a matter of McMillan probably praying that something happens. So there you go, through the field where everybody's running as of right now. 69, make that coming up to 70 laps. Take a look at the history here at Las Vegas on iRacing in the Sim500 series. Of course, it's all the way back to 2018 in the Sim500 series. Justin Fuller won the first race here, which actually had the high in cautions in the series at this track with 5. Back in March of 2018, Mitchell Riggs winning in September of 18. And in March of 19, it was Stefan Marinick. David Comstock won the next 2 in September of 19 and February of 20. Byron Daly in September of 20. And then Josh Parker won in March of 21, followed by Doy Woods in September of 21. Daniel Falkingham, the champion of 2022, in March of that year. And then Pedro Mojica winning the August race. Justin Fuller winning this race the March race in 2023, and then Pedro Mojica winning this race last year before Mac McMillan went to victory lane in January. So, according to my numbers, that means only one driver tonight can go to victory lane for another time. Other than that, we should have a new winner here this evening, unless Fuller goes to victory lane. You should see McMillan get past Kevin DeBrown here. Fuller not able to catch Schweikert so far here. 1.1 seconds still the separation. So that one car looking pretty good. Howdy, Darren. As the battle on for the 6th position, the 20 and the 60 here. As Phillips making the pass. Pat Coleman, EJ O'Rourke trying to make moves here. This is where you see really see the comers and goers show up, because you start to see the cars that are falling off on the older tires, and those with the newer tires start to kind of climb their way back up through the field. The way the draft works here, very powerful, of course, fixed setup, so everybody's running the same thing. And it just comes down to driving style and how you're able to handle the Xfinity car here. And not to mention, very tough to pass, and these guys are showing it right here. Good fighting for this 10th position right here. 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. And add the fact that momentum comes into play here. And you see Calantoni completes the pass on Coleman. And it makes the pass on Kevin DeBrown also. So Calantoni getting 2 for 1. Here's Phillips back to pit road. So let's start the second round of pit stops right here in lap 75. As up here, Tyler Dalton under attack, as here comes DeWeese now. Bringing his, I don't know how this is kind of worded, sponsorship teammate, if you will. I guess technically they're not on the same team, but they both have Bullet All Coffee Company on the car. And there's the 5 and the 88 battling for position. Or not for position, but trying to help each other out, passing Dalton. And Braxton has caught that 55 again. You got yourself a simulator and you're racing at home looking to upgrade your equipment, believe it or not, what you wear could be an upgrade. And what I mean by that is checking out 40racewear.com. If you're looking for clothing like shoes that you can actually wear on your feet while you're iRacing, or even gloves or other apparel, check out 40racewear.com and see what Jim Herrick has for you there at 40racewear.com. I have shoes here at the house, so do others that I know very well. Of course, some people have the gloves, and well, you could too. Especially if you got some big events coming up. If you were one that found a way to survive your MX-5 500 at Martinsville this weekend, I saw some interesting number of cautions, let's put it like that. But hopefully you had the gloves and shoes to help you get you there. Check out 40racewear.com for details. Link down in the race information, by the way, for those curious. So DeWeese got by Fuller. and has moved up to the second position. As Schweikert going to come to pit road now for the final time, lap number 79. This is that 2/3 mark, so you should see a lot of the field come to pit road right here. Four tires and fuel, and there they go. He pulls away 14.7. William Kemp coming to pit road as Braxton DeWeese inherits the lead here. Tyler Dalton up to the second position there in that 9 car. Good to see he's out there still running. I know he and still not feeling good, obviously, and totally understandable. Grieving a pretty big loss there with his father passing away. That's what you see on his car here. Let's do a little close up here. I didn't want to say anything at first, and started hearing some of the drivers making mention about it. But of course, Hal Dalton, the father of Tyler, passing away last 2 weeks ago now. And I'll honestly say Tyler messaged me the day it happened and stuff, and because he had talked to me about it a little bit, and I know what it's like to lose a dad, and it is one that unfortunately you never forget. You'll never forget it, honestly, and obviously you'll never really ever heal from it either. So obviously, all the best there to the Dalton family as Tyler comes to pit road along with EJ O'Rourke, Chad Coleman, all on pit road here. At lap 83. There are plenty of times in my life, and even to today, and it's been 7 years, where I sit there and would love to just hear his voice one time, be able to have a conversation with him, to let my 5-year-old daughter Lucy meet him. But there's some things we don't have control of, unfortunately. So Cal and Tony on pit road. That's Ron Holyfield back there in the 21 car on pit road also. As Cal and Tony pulls away 15.1, 14.9 for Holyfield. As Braxton DeWeese, he's going to try to pull the move on Justin now as he comes to pit road a lap early. .3, and Braxton pulls away. As Wesley Donaldson at 91 now on pit road. Justin Fuller taking the lead, and he's going to run a little long here. Ooh, getting a little loose, a little sideways there through 3 and 4. Wesley Donaldson, 14.9. He leaves pit road. Fuller obviously looking for the 55. He's coming to pit road right now. So here comes Fuller. As we look for the 5 car, Braxton DeWeese, he is coming to turn 1 right now after unlapping himself. So we'll have to see where he comes back around compared to the 55. He should have a pretty decent lead here. But Fuller looking at likely about 3 lap newer tires. We'll see how much a difference that makes as Fuller's in. Right side tires going on to 55. And of course, the camera would switch on me. 4 tires and fuel. He pulls away 15-2. As Braxton goes by right now into turn 1. Well, we're going to take the shortest way around here. Turn 1 and 2. Car obviously wants to slide around everywhere there because the track's all marbled up and stuff. As he gets up there on the banking, pulls away, and we'll see where he ends up here. He's going to be about... I'm going to see this right. About 5.4 seconds or so behind Braxton. So can he make up 5 seconds with the couple lap newer tires? We shall see, as here's a battle for third. And these are now the guys, by the way, up front. These are the guys that pitted halfway or around halfway. So now the race begins to see, can the guys on 2 stops catch the ones on the 1 stop? And to show you where that is on the map, actually, let's do this. Pull the map back up so you guys can see this. Jose Gonzalez, 26 car. He is running over in turn 1 and 2 right now. You see the 26 up there to the top right. 24 there, that is Stephen Miles. He runs second. The first car on tires is right down here where the 1 is in the 23. Going into turn 1 right now. So it is roughly half the track. That Schweikert, that JP Phillips, that these guys have to do in 30 laps to catch the 26 car. I think it's going to be a challenge, believe it or not. I thought at first this wasn't a winning move. I don't know. I might be kind of convinced now. This is going to be interesting. Let's take our final break real quick. We'll come back, get you to the finish of this NCA11.org Xfinity Series race here from Las Vegas, virtually on iRacing, as you're watching the Captain Esports Network.
What a nice day to install my new mailbox.
Hi there, friend. I'm Dig Safely Man. My job is to ensure you call 811 before you dig.
Why do I need to do that?
Vital utilities like natural gas and electric run just beneath the Earth's surface. Damaging them can cause service interruption, environmental hazards, or personal injury.
I thought only contractors had to call before they dig, so homeowners do too.
Call 3 business days before you dig unless you have X-ray vision. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
All right, back we are, 94 laps complete here. The packed house here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, virtually on iRacing. It is the first race of the Championship 8 in the Sim500 Xfinity Series. Of course, tomorrow night, the night off for the Cup Series before they continue on their quest for the championship. We hope we'll see you back here in 2 weeks on Monday. But, of course, next week we're back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, getting ready for the second race of the Xfinity Series playoffs. Appreciate all the viewers hanging out here this evening as Jose Gonzalez, at 26 car, leading with 26 laps to go. Stephen Miles, 2.9 seconds back in second. Seth Foudy third. Nelson Rivera, Mike Kelly are top 5. And if you've just gotten on board here, the top 6 cars have only pitted once in this race. It is this car right here, John Schweikert, the 1 that pitted at lap number 79, and he sits 11.5 seconds back from the lead. He's got Tommy Ryan behind him. Tyler Dalton, of course, Van Schaik was one of the cars on the one-stopper. He's already fallen back. Well, you got to wonder mentally how this could affect the playoffs, because you're going to a track next week in Charlotte, same distance, 120 laps. The only thing really different about the track is a little higher banking and a D shape or two quad ovals in the front instead of a D shape like this one. So you wonder how much a mental situation like this will affect you. Because you could easily see, like, guys next week, Schweiker getting in the wall a little bit there. You could see how all of a sudden guys on one stop try two stops next week, or the other way around. Two stops try one, and you get cars running out of gas. And that could affect you. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this all works out here. Dalton has gone by Ryan for 7th, make that 8th. You know, Schweikert's times have actually started to kind of even out now. Granted, he's passing Simley right now, so that's going to hurt his time. Forgive me, I just headbutted my microphone. That was kind of weird. Well, let's use Dalton, for example. 32.89 from Dalton. 32.98 from Karlovaj. 32.55 from Braxton. DeWeese back here in 13th. Fantastic race here for Sim500 in the Xfinity Series, and I talked a little bit about the numbers here, about the racing in Vegas. You know, January's race had 4 cautions in the 120 lap race there, but before that, the October of 23, the March of 23, August of 22, and March of 22, and even the September of 21 race saw 0 cautions. So that would continue a streak of, what, 6 of the last 7 races? But you hope it stays this way. As they say in racing, anything can happen. As there's Braxton. Luis has caught Karlovaj for 10th. Fuller getting by Wesley Donaldson back there for the 12th position himself. And we're starting to see that third place battle kind of shape up here a little bit as Gonzalez has been able to maintain 3.1 seconds now up front, 18 to go. I said at the beginning of the broadcast who was going to make the gamble tonight. And you've had a few cars make that gamble, and for somebody it could pay off here. Let's go back here, 3 wide for 16th. Yikes. Tony slamming the walls. Van Schijk pulled down to try to stay off him. Almost wrecked himself doing it. So one thing about spotters in iRacing, it doesn't tell you how close the other car is to you. It just tells you, hey, there's one above you. That just killed Van Schijk's momentum as he got out of the gas before getting ran over by Phillips there, potentially on the front straightaways. Here comes Kempf now with Kevin de Brown. A car that's all about momentum. Man, it's getting tight. A lot of people to the point where they're taking now instead of giving. on Rivera as he continues to fight with Seth Foudy here for a top 3 spot. See Mike Kelly in that 2 car starting to kind of reel in here potentially, as we're going to see 4 cars under a blanket here for the 2nd position. John Schweikert about 4 seconds back from this battle. That 22 car looking pretty good there on that top side. Got a real good run down the straightaway here, using the draft into the corner. Nelson, you could say, could push around probably more than any of these drivers, as he was the last one to pit after the first round of pit stops at lap 61, and he's going to take advantage here top side, and by miles to second goes Rivera. Can Foudy, can Kelly, any of these guys catch that 24 also? Unfortunately, none of them right now catching Gonzalez, who stretched it out a little bit more, 3.7 now, with 11 laps to go in this race. Check on Braxton back here as he is to the outside of Scott Simley for the 7th spot. Unfortunately for that 5 car, it might become a game again of, what do I got to do? I think if you're a playoff driver and you know you're one of the better drivers that we've run this season, I don't think you had a choice but to try a 2-stopper tonight. And just get the best position finish you can. I think if you're somebody who you feel like you didn't have a shot at the championship, why not? Tonight was that night to go 1 stop and see what you can get out of it. Now, you could argue that Miles is a legit championship contender. How consistent he's been this season. Of course, got that win at Daytona, but he's out here pulling that 1-stopper, and it looks like unless he's not able to hold off Foudy and Kelly here, looking at a top 3 finish here potentially, if not at least a top 5. Foudy had to check up there a little bit, had a good run in, but Miles obviously taking that bottom lane away. Around at the 11 cars, he tries to get around Miles. The cars are sliding off turn 4. Harris pulled away, and you see them coming up on the lap car of Brian Wortman here. You know, too little, too late here, but Gonzalez's lead is down to 3.5 now. As Foudy's going to get by Wortman, or sorry, by Miles with help. A little bit of help from Wortman, as Wortman does get out of the way, holds his lane. Foudy going to take the lane away from Miles to try to help Kelly get through. As 6 laps to go, Jose Gonzalez has spun over on the backstretch. What just happened to the leader? What is going on here? As Nelson Rivera goes to the lead now. Oh, he gets tangled up with the 15 that got the wall. Oh my gosh. This is why you do not give up in a race. As all of a sudden now the battle for third becomes Kelly versus Miles. And oh, by the way, John Schweikert's only 4 seconds back. As Miles and Kelly continue to battle side by side, you can only imagine the thoughts going through the mind of Jose Gonzalez. As Kelly clears Miles through 1 and 2. As Nelson Rivera comes off turn 4, sees the white flag, final lap. A non-playoff driver looking to kick off the final round with a playoff steal, and it's the one-stop strategies that are going to take the top 4 positions tonight, and Nelson Rivera becoming the 11th winner in 14 races in Vegas. And Miles, I think, ran out of gas, as he is all the way down to 7th as he crosses the line. Race again for the 6th time in 7 races. An Xfinity race at Sim500 goes caution free in Vegas. And it's the LaRue driver of Nelson Rivera going to victory lane. Donaldson, his first career win in the series, his 24th start. I think that 23rd start. Not only that, his first top 5 in the series history. It's kind of hard to believe. I feel like he's here like every Sunday. But Rivera with the steal, and I'm pretty sure all the drivers are going to be thinking now, and I said this a few minutes ago, Charlotte next week, 120 laps. You wonder if all these guys who did 2 stops are going to try to save to 1 stop, right? Here's our results as Rivera wins it. Foundy second, Mike Kelly going to be the points leader, leaving Vegas as he's the best of the rest of the playoff drivers, finishing third. John Schweikert fourth, Tyler Dalton ends up with the top 5. Braxton DeWeese sixth, Stephen Miles 7th, Fuller 8th. Scott Simley, Anthony Calantoni there, the other 2 playoff drivers, 12th and 13th. But you see Donaldson, Carl Lavage, and E.J. O'Rourke 9th, 10th, and 11th. Tommy Ryan and J.P. Phillips finishing 14th and 15th. Coleman finishing 16th, William Kemp 17th, Kevin Brown 18th, Charles Van Schaik 19th, and Levi Poland 20th. Jeff Ryan, Alan Wild 21st, 22nd, Ron Holyfield 23rd, Brian Wortman 24th, Jose Gonzalez 25th after leading and was on his way to a win before the contact there late in this race. Mac McMillan 26th, Bob Gillenwater 27th. Unfortunately, had some connection issues, but do appreciate Bob for hanging out still after he was out and coming over and chatting with us a little bit and stuff. So much appreciative on that end as we talk to our top 3 finishers here tonight. And we'll start with Mike Kelly here. As Mike's appearing in the waiting room waiting on me as we bring up the driver of the 2 car here. Mike, obviously another wild race here in Las Vegas as it comes down to the one-stop strategy, and obviously it pays off for you. And obviously somewhere between the time you and I talked to the start of the race, something changed your mind.
Actually, it was more as the race was already going, I changed my mind. I wasn't running that great, and I was back at 14th, 15th, 16th place or wherever. And I'd just been taking it easy, and you know, I thought the tires were going to be absolutely not even a problem at all. It was the fuel I was worried about. And when I got about 30 laps into the run, as you know, and I was getting close to pitting, you know, with the strategy I said I was probably going to run, I was so close. And then I was going to, well, I'll wait till lap 50 and see where I'm at lap 50 and see how many people do the 2-stop strategy. Mm-hmm. And, you know, most people did. Got to lap 50 and I was right there. So I just decided to go for it. And then when I pitted, my tires were at 8 and I almost ran out of gas. Yeah. Yeah. I was at 18:41 after this last run. And so I was at 8 and I sputtered going into the stall and I sputtered coming down the back stretch after the second run. So everything just worked out perfect, Chris. I don't know what to tell you.
It was a great effort, obviously, and a great night for you because you're the points leader, it looks like, going to Charlotte next week. And I can't help but ask here, the way this all shaped out and the way this race is and the way the schedule is lined up, having 3.5-mile tracks and 4 races, and next week being the exact same distance on the exact same size track, a little more banking, a little more tire wear maybe in Charlotte, a little different racing.
Track.
You think we're going to get a little bit of head games here because you're all of a sudden going to see some 2-stoppers being like, maybe I should try 1-stop next week.
Yeah, because I'm sure we're probably going to get into the same situation, most likely. And I'm never able to make these work, you know, but Seth and Scott and Nelson, you know, those guys, they do that stuff all the time. And so I will definitely be looking at it more strongly next week when that race starts. But as always, you know, at this point, especially with a good start here in this race, I'll be taking it easy and just trying to see how everybody's strategy plays out and try to steal another good finish if I can. Because I'll be honest with you, if there would have been yellows and stuff and it would have been straight up speed, I would have been probably lucky to get a top 10. So It's probably going to be a similar scenario for me at Charlotte, so we'll just show up with the points lead and unload that Exalta Chevy Camaro ZL1 and see what happens.
There you go. Well, congratulations, and send some shout out to whoever you like to.
All right, shout out to you and Captain Esports Network. Appreciate you doing what you do every week. All the admins here at Sim500 and the sponsors, NC811, Trans Service, WD, see, I did it, WBD Diecast. And a pretty good run by the teammates tonight. Like I said, Seth had an awesome run, and Scotty almost pulled off the top 10. So we're looking pretty good in the points. And as always, shout out to the Smoking Hot One for allowing me to do.
You missed one.
Who did I forget?
Mustard.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the great voodoo graphics painter John Mushlin, and a shout out to his daughter Ashlyn. Thank you, Chris, for reminding me. That's the most important one and the one I always forget. So I appreciate that.
That's what I'm here for. I've got everybody's back.
That's good.
Not that I have a list of anything in front of me, but you know.
Just remember, I'm from Nebraska and not Minnesota, and you're golden.
I was trying to remember which Dakota, but anyways.
Hey, keep an eye on that Cornhusker quarterback this year.
Yeah, I watched him play high school ball. Anyways.
Thanks, man. Have a good night.
You too, buddy. Yes, the Nebraska's got themselves a good one, and we shall see. A young man played at Buford High School down in Georgia last year, and I've heard some stories about him, but see what Dylan Raiola can do at Nebraska this year playing Cornhusker ball. All right, runner-up, or how about this? Seth Foudy gets himself a P2 finish here. Seth continues to get it going here as he's been grabbing some momentum here. And another good finish here tonight for the 11 car. Might be the first time we've talked after a top 3 finish. So congratulations, Seth, on that. And great job with the one-stop strategy.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Pretty solid night, obviously. Did not have the speed on the short run by any means. So my strategy was kind of just to save as much as I possibly could. I knew if I could save for like the first 10 to 15 laps, I figured I'd have something to be able to kind of get myself caught up through the field. And my actual initial plan was to pit like at 40. But then I kind of saw that I could make it halfway. So I strived to kind of do that. And I guess the lap times that I was running was just enough I really didn't have to save a whole lot. I guess I was just kind of naturally saving. So it kind of worked out pretty well with that. Of course, I hate it for Jose. I think Jose probably would have won if it wasn't for the incident that happened on the track. I know whenever he was down at the bottom there, I was really hoping there wasn't going to be a caution, because I knew if there was a caution, I knew there was no possible way, with everybody being on fresh tires and stuff like that, I just don't think I'd have had anything, for the fast guys, because a lot of guys had a lot of, short run speed, and we just didn't have that. It was more for the long run. So I tried to stay at the bottom of the track to save as much as I could. And, there towards the end with Nelson, it was kind of getting a little bit too late there, but I tried to move up, and I figured I'd just give it all it had. I think as you moved up, as the track kind of gripped up and rubbered up, I think it was quicker, as you moved up the lanes. So that's what we tried to do. So pretty good night for us.
Well, great job tonight, man. Send some shout out to whoever you like to.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. First of all, I want to thank you, Chris, for the job that you do as broadcasting. I love watching your broadcast. It's always a good time, and it's always entertaining. So I definitely love that, and I want to thank you for the effort and the hard work you put in for that. I want to thank, of course, the group I run with, Turn One Heroes, for all that they do. I want to thank. I've had some people that have been kind of helping me here recently, trying to help me with speed and stuff like that. It has been kind of coming together, so I want to throw a shout out to them. I also want to thank my Lord and Savior for even giving me the ability to have the equipment to even run on here. A lot of people don't even have the funds to be able to even do iRacing or buy equipment and stuff like that, and I'm just blessed to have a place to do it and be able to have equipment. Also want to thank my wife and family for letting me get on here and run, and I want to kind of dedicate this one to our dog. We had to put our dog down on Friday, so it's kind of a cool little builder as far as emotions go. It's kind of cool to be able to bring home a podium today. So
It's not the easy thing to do there. I know that from experience this past week myself, just more on my wife's end and stuff. So I've kind of had to stand back and kind of see it and stuff. So I know the feeling, man. Keep your head up and all the best there in that situation. So one last question I'll let you before I let you go here. How do you keep the momentum going at Charlotte next week?
I'm gonna put a little bit of practice in, and definitely work on my long run for Charlotte, and just try to log some data. I've been taking a lot of notes lately, and I think that's really been helping me because I've been able to go back and kind of see what I've done. So really just kind of putting in maybe just a little extra time more than normal, and I think with doing that, I think maybe we can salvage something good next week.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, great job and congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. You too. As Seth found, he finishes second there, as he mentioned, Turn 1 heroes. He and Mike, of course, teammates there, finishing second and third here tonight at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So big congratulations to him. And little did we know it would be the young man in the 22 car going to victory lane here tonight. And Nelson Rivera, you have found a way to put a horseshoe under you or something. I don't know. But, man, what a strategy call. Obviously, you're one that is not afraid to do the opposite. You're not one that's afraid to, if somebody does this, you're going to go the other way with it. And that's what you did tonight. One of a few cars. And, of course, you catch that lucky break with a few laps to go. But you were fast enough, and you put that car in the victory lane. Your first Xfinity Series win, which kind of shocked me. And then my other shocking part was it's only your 23rd Xfinity start.
Yeah, that's oh, by the way, hi Chris.
Hi.
I don't get to talk to you often.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that worked out the way it did. I didn't have the speed. Started 22nd. I figure, it looks like, in practice, I noticed that I could probably make it to lap 60 if I save my stuff, and that's what I did. And yellow never came out, and here we are. What do you know?
Yeah, it worked out for you. Now, you were actually the one car that went the longest. You went to lap 61, actually, before you took fuel, but you were able to just kind of maintain a good pace and be the best of the rest when it was all over with. Talk about just how you're able to maintain that, because obviously you want to go, and if you go, you're going to be short on fuel likely in that second run.
Yeah, so started 22nd, ran 20th for a good part of that first run behind Van Schaik. And that's just, I say, well, I'm going to stay right here and not race anybody and try to I wanted to get a couple of laps insurance just in case, so that way I can run that second run a little bit harder if I had to. And it just worked out. It wasn't the number one plan. It was probably, because of the lack of speed, I had to try something else. I wasn't going to beat those guys heads up. And my teammate who had the 2-lap strategy was the fastest of those guys. So we both have, the Rui Sport guys, we had a good night tonight. He finished 4th.
Yeah, obviously you guys had a great run and a great strategy playing out for you here tonight. Now the question's going to be, can lightning strike twice next week in Charlotte?
Probably run slow and save my stuff and hope for the best. Yeah, I think John's going to win a race soon. It's sad that we're both out of the playoffs, but it takes a little bit of pressure off. So we just run these races and just try to get some wins. And that's probably why I ran. I didn't run with any pressure tonight, so that kind of helps, I think. I was just running my pace. There was no urgency. And it worked out because we're not in the playoffs. So I expect John to win one here in the next 3 weeks as well.
I asked this question: does it feel good to be able to get a win after being out of the playoffs now and be like, yeah, I'm taking your win away from a playoff driver, or does it more frustrating at the fact it's like, man, I could have won this race in the playoffs?
Yeah, mixed feelings.
Right.
I probably would have traded this in for last week, but a win's still a win. It still takes a little bit of the sting away from not making the final round.
Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations, well earned, and send some shout outs.
Shout out to my teammates, man. Me and John, we're sticking it out till the end, and hopefully we can finish strong here.
Well, great job tonight. Congratulations, and go celebrate with John.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Nelson Rivera, the winner tonight here in Vegas, getting win number 1. And you heard the unfortunate news there was, he was knocked out of the playoffs last week for the Championship 8, but he was able to rebound tonight, go to victory lane here for the first time in the series, and once again show that the one stop was the way to go tonight. So it's very interesting because when you look at some of the tracks, you see other tracks where the one stop doesn't go to victory lane, and you see times where the one stop does go to victory lane, and it's such a helter-skelter, maybe. I can't think of the right way to word it, but it's so interesting to see how one race can go one way, the other race can go the other way when it's all said and done. And it's part of gambling. And here we are in Las Vegas. Nelson Rivera, Jose Gonzalez, who should have went to victory lane. Unfortunately, those guys gambled and had it won, but unfortunately for Gonzalez, had some issues there at the end. And in victory lane sits the 22 car of Nelson Rivera. So congratulations to him, as the point standings shall be up to date. And should be Mike Kelly up there at the top in the points. It sure is. And just give me a second here, and let me do my chop work that usually a producer would do. But for those who have never watched, I'm my producer too. I'm also the director. I'm also the boss man. I'm also the coffee guy. I'm also the whatever else you need. And I'm the I'm a do-it-all guy. One-man band, whatever you want to call it. So, as points should be updated now on the screen. So here you go. As up, that is not the right one. So let's do this really quickly. That's why I clicked on the wrong one. So here you go. There's your updated standings. Mike Kelly leads the points now by 2 over Braxton DeWeese, 3 over Fuller, 4 over Miles. As obviously Mac McMillan going to have a tough road to hoe here in the next couple of weeks, but he can easily get back into it. Kevin DeBrown, unfortunately, down a little bit. Cal Tony down a little bit. But still plenty of racing to go. 3 races left to see who is the best here in Sim500's Xfinity Series season. So next Sunday night, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Virtually here on iRacing will be the next stop. Again, tomorrow night we are off for the Monday series. They will resume coming up in the following week after a week off, as we will be back in action next Monday, and that will be at the slowing myself down, Richmond Raceway on the 12th. So it should be a fun race coming up next Monday night. But again, Sunday, the next race for Sim500, and that will be at Charlotte. Next broadcast you'll see for the Captain Esports Network coming up here on Thursday night from Daytona. So we're looking forward to getting the series back going. Thursday night, Friday night, going to be a stream there too, and that one's going to be on dirt. So looking forward to getting off the pavement for one night this week. Should be some fun. So, all right, enjoy the rest of your Monday night, and always remember this isn't just a game. Actually, Sunday night. Sorry, I'm a day ahead of myself here. This isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya.
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.